a beautiful, serene intro ending for two of the most useless, pointless episodes in Big Brother history. We have a lot to talk about. We've got popularity poll results to go over. We have an eviction, all right, a delayed eviction. What else do we have? Nominations, festy pesties. There's no time to waste. Let's just get into it. John's having a good time. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined by the always gorgeous Gina Morgino and the freshly shaven John Dunphy.
It's too hot out there. It's too hot for a beard.
So hot.
This is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast. You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our flashy website at bbjuryduty.com. Okay. Yikes. So much. Dreading this. That's like I really don't know. I really don't know. How to start.
No idea.
I know so much. So, all right. Well, let's start with episode A. Right. This is our eviction episode that was delayed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Pooch nominated himself, basically surrendered himself to be a pawn, to sit next to Taylor, and basically also exclaimed that poor Joseph does not know anything about this game. That didn't age well.
That did not age well.
Yeah. What about this episode can we even say? Nothing. Lots of gobbledygook that just got us right, because honestly, this feels like it was so far ago. So if somebody has a point to mention to this, that is anything before the eviction, have at it. I have nothing.
Anything before the eviction?
No.
Jeez.
I don't even know what happened.
But by the time we got into this episode, everything we were watching, it felt like it was weeks ago. Because if you're keeping up on Twitter, like just with how much is changing, with how quickly it's changing, like I felt like, why are we watching this? This is so old.
Yeah.
So even like everything leading up to the eviction. Literally all I can remember is everyone sucks and they were mean to Taylor. Surprise, surprise, nothing different. Like that's all that I remember happening is like everyone was being mean to Taylor for no reason. That's it.
I mean, the house did switch. The girls did take this opportunity, not because they are now liking Taylor, but because they saw an opportunity to get Pooch out early, get a guy out. They thought was a good move for them. What do we think about this from a game point of view? Never mind Taylor and how we feel about her, obviously, but just from a game point of view, the girls wanting to now work with Taylor for the point of getting Pooch out. Good move?
I mean, Pooch was pretty vocal about just wanting to get all the women out as soon as possible. So yes, good move. Yeah. Absolutely good move.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I will say there's a little part of me that is sorry to see Pooch go.
Really?
I'm very grateful that I don't have to refer to a grown man as Pooch for the rest of the summer. That makes me happy.
I suppose that's fair. I did quite enjoy looking at Pooch.
Fine.
And I will say I was happy for this last eviction episode. We got lots of zoom ins on his crotch, which made me happy.
Oh my god.
Made me happy, so goodbye, Pooch. You will be missed. But not more than Taylor would have been. So all's well that ends well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just so glad that this happened. Because I feel like it happened because Pooch, offered himself up on there. Like if that didn't happen, this would have been another week, I feel like, of just targeting Taylor. Let's go after Taylor. It wasn't until Pooch started actually saying no, put me up. I want to go up. And then everybody realizing, wait, he wants to go up.
That's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just so glad that it happened this way. Because if he hadn't volunteered himself, I think it would have been a very different week. So
yeah.
Right. I agree with that. I can agree with that. I guess that's it for that
I
one
feel like that's
episode.
all there is to say about that. I
know.
barely paid attention to the first half of this episode. Like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
so
did
sorry
not
to our
care.
casual friends. This is not a good recap. It just feels like it was so long ago. We're so sorry. But whatever.
And it's just it's so weird. Like I was saying before, like it feels like we're like months into this season, and it was like the first eviction that we've gotten. Like seeing them actually all sit there and vote, I was like, oh my god, that's right. We haven't had this yet.
Yeah, and this is the first time we saw the DR hallway. And I was like, oh wow, it's colorful, it's cute. And I forgot how much I miss getting to see everyone's votes. You know, that's something we don't get in Big Brother Australia. That's something we do not get. Yeah, they edit them out. If you want to see, they edit some of them. Some people you see, some you don't. You get the final count. Yeah. If you mean annoying, yeah. Because you have to now go on the website to now see how everybody actually voted. Like that's really stupid. Like I don't know why you're keeping it from me.
Yeah.
Like let me see. Why do I have to do the extra thing? You know, Australian Survivor also likes to not show you. They show you at the end, you know, but like I like to know. I don't know. I like counting in the moment.
I mean, Survivor here barely shows you who voted what. Like they show you what the votes are, but like it's not until like the very end of the episode that you see like people holding up their things or whatever.
At least they do reveal it though. See, Australian Big Brother does not do that. They just sorry. You can go find it on the website.
So strange.
Yeah, it is weird. So I'm really happy to see people voting again. Really fun.
Yeah.
What did you think of the 12-0 vote though? I will say I was a little surprised by that.
I was a little surprised too. To be honest, I thought he'd get a couple.
The only one that surprised me was Turner because like if you were watching the feeds, he was so after this happened, he was so vocal about it and so pissed off that like he did not want to let Pooch go. And it's like I don't know why you felt like you were obligated to vote him out. Like you could have thrown him a bone and like even you didn't vote for him. Like I don't understand the like vote with the house so no one gets upset. That it's so annoying to me.
It's tiring. It's tiring.
Especially like for him to say like, "Oh, I'm voting out my final two." If you're his final two, like just give him a vote.
Right,
whatever.
Right. I honestly thought that it would be I thought it would be 10-2. I honestly thought that Turner and Joseph would just vote for Pooch just because, like, why not?
Right. I guess that's the thing. To Jen's point, I'm surprised that there weren't just some kind of pity votes here, like especially from Joe. Like, like even just to say, hey, this has kind of been my guy. I just want to like say so sorry. Just throw him a vote so he doesn't feel bad. I don't think anybody in the house would have held that against him. He was going home nowhere.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why. Like, especially to see how angry Turner was that he went home later on in the day. It's like you voted him out too, dude.
Right. He's like, I found out last. Well, so if you found out last and right before, you certainly hopped right on board real quick.
Right.
So were you really that upset? Yeah. Kind of a weird thing. Sorry, Pooch. That's the end of that.
Sorry, Pooch.
Sorry, Pooch. But with his exit comes the entrance of a new twist. Festy Besties. Much to the chagrin of Lady Mortino.
Just as soon as I started seeing what the pairings were, I was like, they saw Tiffany's whole cookout thing and said, what if we make this a twist and make it worse? And then they gave us this like garbage Festy Besties. I was like, all right. Like if they would have randomized the pairings, I would have been so on board. But allowing them to choose their pairings tanked it for me.
I agree with that, but I'm really thank you, Jen, for this. Because this is the other thing about this. Okay, like yes, there is a lot of chatter about this being very much like Tiffany's plan, so on and so forth. However, this is not the first time that we've seen this game being played in duos. You know, we did see this in the ill-fated BB9. I say ill-fated, but let me take that back because I think BB9 was a bop. Okay, the winner is a flop. But the gameplay up to that point was a really good time, and that was played largely in duos, as was BB13. So it's not like this is the first time we've seen this, but I do object 110% to the picking This should have been random.
I would have loved it if it was randomized.
Yeah, if you had
Because
started,
that could have given such a cool dynamic to the way the game was played.
Yeah,
if you just like
yeah.
seeing how like volatile some of these people are with each other. If you then like threw like imagine like obviously it's not what we want, but like putting like Taylor and Monty in a pair and seeing how that now affects the way that the game is played. Like there are some people that just like cannot stand each other in this house. That would have been interesting to see like the dynamics in which they like flowed through and like how that but like to make it so simple as like each alliance person picks a non-alliance person and they go on the block together, but we have the numbers, just vote out the non-alliance person. It's like we've seen this before.
Right. You taught them this and then you built it into the game.
Because it's not even just the cookout, like it's very reminiscent of the brigade as well. Like it's just we've seen this before.
Yeah. We've seen this a number of times. Like it's just that the cookout was the first one to do it like flawlessly.
Correctly.
Yes.
Right. This now has just been forced on us with people we don't like who got to, you know, like oh god.
It's just another way, like every season there's a way that the majority alliance coasts through and it's boring to watch and whatever. And this is just another example of like how that could in theory happen.
Right. And I will say that I'm happy that that's not how this is starting to go.
It's and I know I'm like optimistic of it now. I'm speaking as I was when I started seeing it unfurling. As of today, that's not necessarily how I feel about it. But when they first unraveled the twist, I was like, all right.
All right, womp. It's like you let us down once again. But no, I feel like we're breathing some new life into this season.
I'm feeling very optimistic right now.
I'm starting to get excited. We'll get into all that.
You know, can I just say one last thing about the selection of these besties too? Because
I don't think it's one last thing. This is going to be our.
Well, yeah, but
you go on as much as you want to. Yeah, you bestie.
It really kind of grinds my gears.
Oh, your grinds are good.
That Jasmine
ground.
Jasmine, nobody.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm so happy I watched the wheels turn in that moment.
I wanted to make it work so bad. I'm just messing it up left and right.
Oh God. I'm sorry.
Really
please continue.
Yes, go ahead. Why are your
Jasmine
gears ground?
Yeah. Jasmine now gets another week of safety as she scoots around the house just because nobody wanted to pick her.
Well, nobody wanted to pick her because she can't offer them anything. She can't play anything.
Right, but that's what I mean. So now she's safe. Now she's safe for this week. She's going to be around another week after that too.
I said this when she was HOH. I was like, if this turns into, because she opted out of playing veto that week. I was like, if this turns into another Christmas situation where she just gets to sit out of competitions because she can't play them and coasts all the way through this game, I'm going to be livid. If she cannot compete in the competitions, get rid of her. Like, what is happening?
I don't disagree. Who wants to be Jasmine's partner? But I will say, if she milks this just a little longer, I don't care if she plays veto now. You know, I want her to stay on the scooter. I want the squeaky wheel thing to keep happening.
I don't want her DRs. I'm so sick of this like over exaggerated accent that she only does when she knows cameras are on her. Because if you watch her on the feeds, she doesn't sound like that. But she doesn't sound like that until she knows that a camera is on her, and then she'll turn it on even on the feeds. Like she just all of a sudden this accent comes out when she knows there's cameras around. It's so annoying.
Yeah. I can't stand her.
Oh God.
She might win the award for like worst house guests this season.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We got.
You think there's somebody worse than Jasmine
this season? Oh, absolutely. Look at our pull up the popularity poll. There's someone with less votes.
Daniel let's.
Look at these numbers.
See, and I forget him. I forget that he even exists.
I wish I could forget about Daniel.
I don't, I can't stand him, but it's just not really on my radar. This is how our fans feel about our house guests. We saw some things happen here. Yeah, Daniel had a droppage. Daniel went from 14 to 3%. It's really, really bad. Jasmine went from 9 to 5.
3% approval rating. Yeah.
And I would love to know what the 3% are that are like.
It's the same 3% that didn't vote for Taylor. You see
Yes!
that?
It's not funny, but it's great. For all of our
man.
audio only friends, you can find our popularity poll results on our socials at BB Jury Duty. It's on Instagram and Twitter.
That's right. That's right.
Now that's out of the way. Michael saw some gains. Michael went from 91 to 92. Good for you.
Love to see it.
Monty also went up by 2%, and I think that's only as a result of what was going on in the feeds.
Yes.
That we'll get to later.
Right.
Yeah, some of the gains that people saw really were for that reason. But Alyssa cannot say the same. She went from 34 to 16.
Ooh.
She's really in the trenches.
Woof.
Indy went from
In the
60 to
trenches.
43. That was probably because of that hot soup comment.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about that? I just wanted to throw hot soup on Taylor.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's just so ridiculous. Taylor said like the soup she was eating like tasted good or something, and Indy got all pissed because she's a have-not. I'm telling you.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
if Taylor breathes in front of the wrong person, it's like I have a stuffy nose, so screw Taylor. Like shut up.
The only thing I'll say to defend Indy in this is that like. This is something I read on Twitter. I didn't actually watch this exchange. And like we don't know the context in which this was said. I could very easily see sitting at the table with John and him being like, this soup is like really good. And I'm eating slop. Like, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, I'll throw this like I'll throw your soup in your fucking face. like could it have been like tongue in cheek, or was it? I know.
I would love to believe that it was that, but knowing the way that the season has gone, it's the moment Taylor left the room, she was like, "I'd throw hot soup in her face," you know, like.
I was just trying to be. I know. I was trying to be a good juror.
I would love to believe it was all in good fun.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But
I really feel too like people on this season. They're just like really annoying. Like they're whining so much about being have-nots and eating slop. Like I feel like we've seen people, they were bad on it in the past and they've broken the rules or whatever. I just feel like this cast seems so dramatic anytime one of them has to be a have-not or has to eat slop. Like
that whole indie segment was wild today.
Yeah.
In today's episode.
I'm gonna defend Indy here too. I am.
I will say I feel like everyone was a lot more irritated by it than they needed to be. But like she still very much was like, all right, I'll do it. Damn it, now I'm gonna complain all day. And it's like you kind of volunteered to do it. But
well, I mean, they also like, all right, listen. Yes, she volunteered to do it. And like that doesn't mean it's fun. She can still be annoyed that because she volunteered, but she was kind of forced into her volunteer. She was like really voluntold because Alyssa was kind of she was. And like Alyssa kind of like forced her into that. And like I think she gets to be a little annoyed for like an hour.
I wasn't like totally against her.
Yeah, it's just the house was. And like Terrence like, I can't believe she's being so rude. She wasn't being rude. She said, let me be upset for an hour. Leave me alone. I'll come around. And then she even said in the DR, like, I know it's part of the game. It is whatever. Listen, you put me on slop. I am going to have an attitude for a little while. I won't hold it, but it sucks. I'm not going to cheer about it. Act
and
like
then
I'm especially
like watching him walk away and be like, well, fine, you get no help from me then. It's like, well, I don't remember her I don't remember her asking for any help, first of all.
You approached her. You approached her.
I do think it was very fair though how it was chosen. Like they were the only pair that hadn't both been on slop yet. So like,
yeah, it was.
You have to just kind of suck it up.
Yeah, sorry about it. So sorry. I left Pooch in the popularity poll because I didn't want things to be ruined for our casual friends. Yeah, but he did see some losses. I mean, he went from 20 to 10 and then saw his way out.
Barely stayed in the double digits.
Yeah. Taylor picked up 3 points, 94 to 97.
As she should.
Yeah. Terrence fell 15, 36 to 21. Turner, believe it or not, saw some gains.
Which I also think is a little in part to what we were seeing on feeds.
Yes, it was. Yep. Yes, it was. He went from 9 to 16. I mean, we're not talking about great gains, but yes,
it's double
gains nonetheless.
We'll give it to him.
It was not a loss, At least now you're in double digits. So congratulations,
proud of you.
Turner.
Welcome to the game.
Yep. You could be Daniel and have 3%.
Yeah, could be.
It's crazy.
I was laughing so hard too, speaking of Welcome to the Game, that like I was seeing some of these like tweets come out about the first half of the episodes tonight being like they're just putting this Turner like elbow segment in so that the casuals know who he is because he hasn't been called into the DR all season and all of a sudden he's about to be HOH.
Yes, and it's because they're trying to make him look like he's a fun person, all this other stuff. Yeah, they tried it.
He literally has not been called into the DR all season, and now he's HOH.
I heard that.
What did you think of that 50 state in 15 seconds or whatever? It was like Ohio.
First of all, right. We all sang the song in elementary school. We all know the states. You didn't say any words. Like you just made sounds and said, "No, I did them all. I promise."
I actually tweeted this. I said, I can't actually confirm that all states were said because some of it just sounded like jabbering. And I know you counted on the bottom, but I'm not really sure that whoever edited this really counted it either.
They were counting the time it took him to do it, not how many states he named.
Oh, they were counting seconds, not states.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I saw the dinging and I just looked down. I didn't even look anymore. I was like, this is ridiculous.
No, they were counting how long it took him to name the alleged 50 states.
So still giving credence to it, however.
Did he say that he has the world record?
Yes, he did.
He sure did.
Is he saying that this is an official thing? Like if I go somewhere, like Guinness Book of World Records right now,
Snopes.
It will say that Turner holds the world
pretty
record.
much. I would bet my bank account that he is not, in fact, the world record.
I want to see if I can find this.
Yeah, please do. You're like our official live researcher.
He claimed to be the world record holder.
Yes,
he claims a lot of things.
We're checking Guinness. We're checking Guinness. In the meantime, let's go to the Festy Besties. Nicole and Taylor, whatever. Nicole thinks she's so cunning. She's so smart.
Sucks. Nicole sucks. I'm sorry.
She's the absolute worst. I was so jazzed about her coming into the house, and I have just been like,
what a disappointment.
Yeah, really. I mean, just flat note after flat note. You get it, jazz, flat note.
I got it. It's very silly. It's funny.
Very silly. It's funny. Stupid. So that's that. Kyle and Daniel, not very exciting to me. Whatever. Who cares? Like, is it exciting? Any thoughts? No. Do we have the official record?
I found something that says it's a girl in India has the world record. Her name is
so
Sanskruti Uke. Can recite the names of 50 states. Confirmed on August 17th, 2021. That's what this says.
Wow, so very recent. And how fast did she do it?
This says 19 seconds, which Turner did claim a faster time, but
Turner didn't say any words.
Yeah, I think that his attempt was more like gobbledygook.
He was just like, how much noise can I make in 15 seconds and convince people that I named states?
Yeah. Unless, do we just watch like a world record be set?
Kyle, he didn't say any words.
I think we watched a world record for the most nonsense that we could get in 13 seconds.
All right. Well, I tried. Sorry, Turner. This information has been officially debunked. You heard it first on Jury Duty. Well, might as well
want to keep up what's been happening on the feeds. Go at it. Go for it.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Are we already done with the?
No, there's so much more to talk about. Amira and Terrence.
Oh yeah.
None of these pairs really matter, I feel like. I just don't care. I have nothing exciting to say about any of them.
It was just the one time I took some notes and I was excited to use them, and it just doesn't matter. It just sucks. It sucks.
Because none of them are exciting.
Yeah, I know.
With each pairing, I was like, all right, fine, sure.
Oh, well, we can talk about. let's talk about, my heart broke a little with the Brittany and Michael Fessy Bestie pairing. You know, because Michael's choosing of Brittany was, you know, oh, she's outside my alliance, like whatever, like I was a person, but whatever. And Brittany's like, I don't want to be with my best friend. And it's like, oh, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that broke my heart a little bit.
It's also like they're two of the only 3 people in this house that I like. So if like they end up on the block together on eviction night and one of them's got to go, it's like, well, there goes one of the only 3 people that I like, because they have to go up together.
Right, because I want my final 3 to be Michael, Taylor, and Brittany.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
my
the dream.
ideal 3. Yeah. Any more on Festy Besties?
How long do you think this will last?
I've heard speculation that it's going to be until jury.
Which then really means only, what, another 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Right.
3, yeah.
That would make sense.
But I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, but that's what I've heard.
Right.
Okay.
Now, see, no, we're not ready for that comment. That's for the feeds. That's for feeds.
I'm also interested to know what this whole, like, whoever is not evicted, what happens? Like, is it a perk?
Yeah.
Is it a punishment? Is it like, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't really have, like, I feel like usually when stuff like that happens, we at least know the answer, even if the house guests don't, but we don't have the information either.
Part of me wonders if the reason why we don't have the information is because they have not decided.
Because they don't know.
Yeah. They haven't decided what it's going to be, and it will depend on who is up there and who's left. And they'll decide.
I mean, that whole factor is the sole reason why Nicole chose Taylor, because she was like, well, Taylor's obviously going to go, and then I'm going to get whatever the benefit is. Ugh. And was like loudly talking about it on the feeds too. Like that wasn't just like a DR thing. She was like telling people. We were like, all right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She thinks she's so smart. Like she's so cunning.
I think Nicole's a jerk. Like a jerk.
She sucks.
You know what I mean?
Sucks.
Like a jerk from the jerk store. That's where she came from.
From the jerk store. Who else is for sale?
From the jerk store.
Who else is
Daniel,
for sale
definitely.
at the jerk store? Yeah.
Daniel.
We didn't talk about Nicole's slippage.
Oh, did she fall? I couldn't remember.
She did. Yeah, she fell. She went from 48 to 21. She's actually was this week's biggest loser.
Wow.
Okay. Losing 27 points. Biggest loser.
There's a lot of red on that graphic, man.
There really is.
There's only 3 greens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Joseph, it's really just because it was his birthday, you know? It's like things.
Listen, BB birthdays have been delivering and delivering and delivering. We love a BB birthday.
We do.
Joseph's birthday may have been the best thing that could have happened in this season.
We got Keisha's birthday. We got Rockstar's daughter's birthday. We got Joseph's birthday. We're doing great.
Yes. Keisha's birthday. Tommy and I quote it all the time. Like it's the
so
screaming.
good.
The scream was like, "Oh, it's time for cake. You want cake? You ready for cake?" Like the whole thing is so freaking stupid. Really great. That was a great scene.
The amount of times that I have used Rockstar's daughter's birthday to people who just do not know, and I don't care because I think it's funny.
Oh, it makes me so
real
happy.
cute, real cute.
Yes,
such good memories.
Yeah, back when Big Brother was good.
Yikes.
Now, any more on Festy Besties?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
We're good. So yeah, that's basically what most of the actual planned Sunday episode was really around these bestie things. Oh, can we just talk about this HOH competition too, by the way?
Oh, snooze. Bad.
Hated it.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly,
who selected the competitions this season? We have to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. I'm going to really rally behind my previous statement of firing this entire team and just bringing in the Canadians, because they would never.
What a bad competition.
Yeah, it was not fun. No. And there was like a part of me at first, I was like, how long is this going to take? Is this just going to be the rest of the episode?
Right.
Once we went to commercial and we still hadn't crowned the HOH, I was like, is this really another one of these? Like, I don't care. It's not fun.
Yeah. And like, I think you had said in the group chat over the weekend that like, oh, if this was an endurance comp, that sucks that we didn't get that on feeds. I would have been really annoyed if this was on feeds.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like this is like not even really fun to watch. I would have watched it. Like, and I do think that at least that would have made it more interesting than this presentation of it, but I still would not have been happy.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with how many like false starts they were for stupid reasons. Like you just like mildly adjust your hand, and it's like like they clearly weren't like thinking that it was like time to go or whatever. It was just like I just needed to like move my hand an inch, and like oh now I'm out of the competition. Like dumb.
Yeah, super lame. Super lame. I will say I did like Wednesday's veto competition, the mermaid thing, since we didn't really get to talk about that. I did enjoy that one.
It's one of the better ones of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the way the beads flew really did look like water. It was very nice to watch. The whole thing was fun, and the flash rain that came down that made
I was of all the competitions we've seen so far, I was the most on board with that one.
Yeah.
Right. I also enjoyed your tweet, Kyle, because I laughed at the same moment when the narrator was like, and Michael made a splash in the veto competition.
So stupid.
It's like, oh man, because I laughed immediately when I heard that.
I love the narrator. That is the one thing that our version of Big Brother gets right all the time. I think that narrator should go to every show. That should just be a Big Brother thing. Just go internationally, this man. But I also like that it's special for ours, you know?
Yeah.
He is so much fun. All those stupid little puns. I always laugh so hard. They're great.
I was from the moment the cast was announced, I was waiting for the screw the pooch. I was waiting for there were ones that I was like, I know you cast him specifically for this man to make this pun. I know this.
It's so great.
Oh god.
Well, and that's really that. That's that for that episode. So we see Brittany and Michael hitting the block together.
Yeah.
BB besties.
Wow. Well, hey, we'll see what happens, but Michael is a beast, a comp beast. So
he is a comp beast. He'll be going into this veto competition looking for his third win.
Which I think, if I remember correctly, the intention of putting them up was for them to be taken down to backdoor Taylor. So I think they put him up like expecting, well, Michael will probably be able to like, you know, we've seen him win before. We might see him win again. Like the intention was to backdoor Taylor.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's really that on that. We already know who wins veto. We'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, we will get to that in a moment. But first, we cannot let our casuals go without Julie Judgment. Bang, 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 bang. This is what we had this week. This little orange number.
It sure was.
Well, I'd love to. You know what? No, I'm not going to kick it off. This is my little segment. I'll let you guys go. I like being the last vote. I like being the last vote.
This makes me miss Sonia from BB Australia. Because this is a not for me.
Okay. Tell us why.
I just don't like it.
Okay. All right. Gina.
Nar. This ain't it.
Nar.
It's not cute. I'm sorry.
Gina's giving Julie a not.
It's not cute.
It does mean my vote is invalid, but I will say that I do second and third. This is a not. I would have enjoyed this more if this was a little tighter.
It's so like boxy.
Yeah, just very
like it's
frumpy almost. Like I don't know, like, a little bit too much. Just need to be a little tighter. Pull it in around the waist there.
Yeah, a little cinched waist.
Yeah.
Or like tuck whatever this top is into the skirt and like ruffle it a little or something.
Okay. I could have been on board for that.
That could work. That could work. Yeah.
I will say the shoes were nice. She did have nice shoes.
Shoes are cute.
Yeah.
The shoes
That's
are cute.
part of the outfit for sure.
It is, but not enough to save this. Now Tommy speculated, is this a maternity outfit? Could she be with child? And
Oh
he said,
no.
is she too old? And I said, I
Oh
actually
no.
don't think she's too old, but I don't think this is maternity. That's
I
not the
just think
vibe
it's
I'm getting.
a
A
bad
Mainly
bad
outfit.
because we wore this last time, and look at that stomach. There's no baby on the way.
No, it's just a bad outfit.
It's just a bad outfit.
Someone did
She's
her
like,
dirty on this one.
it's like, you know what? We know this week is a flop. I'll wear that thing.
Nobody cares about this episode anyway. Just throw her in that.
I did like that the orange how that matched with the color scheme. Like there was a moment that she
Sure.
was standing next to the screen. I was like, oh, okay, it kind of goes with the orange of the scheme that they have going here.
Yeah.
Like if she walked into the house and walked into the living room, she would look summery and appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But she has delivered our first knot of the season. Sorry, Julie.
So
she came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah.
Well, no, how could you? Anything's gonna be a knot compared to this. Look at this dress.
Well, see, this got a hot also. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
this
this
Yes,
is
is
a good
but
one.
but also in comparison, nothing's beating that purple.
no. Well, who knows?
Well, nothing.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
the purple was great, but it's just a shame what happened this week.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
side by
too
side is
bad.
bad. It makes it worse.
We're so sorry. We're so sorry, Julie. But now, the time has come.
Okay.
We're going to move on to spoilers. Those of you who are listening, shut us off now. No harm, no foul. Anybody watching live, time to duck out if you don't want to hear it. If you're watching the video, you already heard the message. So here we go. We're getting into it. Yikes.
Oh my god.
Where does one start with this? So,
I
as
have
you
no
said,
idea.
the original intention was now to put up Brittany and Michael, to then backdoor Taylor and Nicole, with really the intention of just making sure that Taylor was the one to leave.
Yeah.
Then Alyssa, during her quest for the D, approached Kyle in the bathroom, trying to give him some information. And
This whole dynamic is what my girl Alyssa. How at no point have you realized that you are feeding this man every bit of information you have, and he has given you nothing. You have received no information in return. What do you think is serving you in this game relationship where you're giving him all of your cards?
Right.
She probably feels like, oh, I'm building trust. I'm building trust. It's like,
are you?
Oh, it's so bad.
It is. It truly is. Well, she lets it come out that it was Paloma that during week 1 was trying to get an all-girls alliance together, obviously to push out the men. This now leaves Kyle shaken and stirred. And he begins this new plot to get out a girl. But first, there was that conversation up in that HOH room, where all the men were now having this conversation with Taylor, basically revealing to her like all the shit that went down. But I know that there's so much more that happened even before that.
The chronological order of everything is so confusing.
It truly is, because there was so much that happened. I know that a lot of this happened in relation to Joseph's birthday, but I don't really know why. There is something about fajitas.
yeah, yes.
Well,
yes,
it's so funny that like everybody's been saying like this man turned 25 and his brain fully developed, and he said, I am in the Big Brother house and I have to figure out a plan. Like all of a sudden it was like, welcome to the game, Joseph. Thank you. Joseph 25. Welcome to the game.
Yeah.
You've leveled up.
Well, I think maybe he needed Pooch to go for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people just serve as
That's
too
fair.
much of a distraction.
Totally.
Yeah.
Pooch had him in his paws. He couldn't do anything, Now he's gone. Joseph, he's free. He's free.
He is a free man. And now he's out there and he's shaking some things up. I think he was the first person to approach Taylor and say that I don't want this to go on anymore, right?
Yeah. There's been a lot of speculation on whether it was Joseph or Kyle. So like they were both kind of like around the same time, but they both equally held a hand in what happened.
Right.
The only thing is, I kind of think that Kyle coming around to it is a little bit more game than personal. And I feel like Joseph saying it was a little bit more personal.
Sure.
Right. Yeah,
I can
agree.
support that.
No, especially after what we saw tonight, like on the episode, with Kyle basically saying like, "Oh, like let's leverage Taylor since she's on the outside," and we had this all girls thing that she's not in.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit more game than that, but
No,
whatever,
I
whatever
can
keeps
totally
her
agree with
in.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever keeps
right.
her in.
I don't care what the motive is, as long as Taylor is protected, that's fine.
Yes, and as long as people want to play with
Exactly.
her, that's fine. Y'all don't have to be real friends or anything like that. Just
I
play the
will say,
game
like,
with her.
the one thing that did irk me about that conversation with like Taylor and all the guys together is like they were very much like, this is what's been happening. This is how the girls have been treating you bad, and this is blah 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 blah. And meanwhile, like in this room is Monty and
I
like
know.
people that like have very much contributed and like were not owning the fact that like I did it too. They were just like, no,
Right.
the girls really suck. They've been, you know, treating you real bad. And it's like,
Right. My God, I
you
was
too,
dying
though.
when I saw that clip of Monty from the feeds of him being like, "Yo, when Taylor told me that you know that info about Paloma about how she wanted to go after guys, like Taylor was telling the truth. She was telling the fucking truth." And I was just like, "Yeah, man."
Congratulations, Monty. This is what everyone's been trying to tell you for 2 weeks now.
3 weeks in, you figured it out.
Oh my God.
That is part of the game, though. You do kind of get suckered in by some people, and like maybe Monty was just one of those. Like,
Yeah. It was just like how
But
easily
still,
he
like,
accepted
own it, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I just feel like, you know, like it was just such a rash decision. Like you had Taylor who was trying to like make relationships, you know, with Monty and some of those guys, like playing pool with them, hanging out with them in the backyard. Paloma targets her, just goes around the house and lies on her, and now it's like you just take Paloma's word over Taylor, this other person that you've been trying to, you know, build, you know, it's been trying to build relationships with you. And she comes and tries to warn you that you might be in danger. Hey, I heard some people talking, and you immediately just discount what she says and just run with what Paloma says. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was very early to do that. But can we objectively maybe look at the Monty thing? I'm not necessarily saying that this is for him, but in this, because he is a jerk, but in that situation where you know you have wronged somebody, but now you want to play the game with them, is that a moment to own it? Is this that much of a real life moment, or is this more in the game that I can't let you know that I participated in this because you may not want to work with me. So from a game point of view, like, should you own it?
Yeah.
Not necessarily talking the Monty situation though, because Monty like just really sucks. But just
Right, but it's also like the other side to that is depending on how this information gets around, if this information gets around, it would be very easy for someone to be like, Monty was there too. And now you no longer trust this person who's been giving you this information. Like, if you come in and say, like, you know, I also thought this, but I have since come around and realized that that was like not what was really going on, is better than if he's like, yeah, all of these people were saying these terrible things to you. And then if by some chance in some conversation they find out that Taylor knows that, it's like, wait a minute. Monty said that we were being terrible to you, and he didn't say that he said this. And now that kind of shoots him in the foot. You know what I mean?
I'm sure people have receipts in there for the stuff that Monty has said. So
I think that could actually work in Taylor's favor. Because if that gets to that point, those girls are going to be all riled up, and Taylor will be like, oh, yeah, I hear you. Let's get him out. And that's another week of a free target.
Sure. Yeah.
May not be so bad. Imagine this, just like this season ends up turning out like all these people that ganged up on Taylor before now just like turn on each other, and like we just watch Taylor like just cruise to the end.
Yes, I can imagine, because that's exactly what we want.
Right?
That is the dream. That's the dream. That's our Sunday
That
prayer.
is what we're working towards.
Yes.
Oh God. I hope it happens.
Oh, speaking of prayer, that was another thing that happened over the last 24 hours. That, do you know about the whole like Nicole thing?
That's right.
No.
That's right.
No,
this is a big reason why I think that Nicole is such a jerk, because of how all this unfolded.
So Nicole gets called into the DR. We don't know at the point that it happened what she was called into the DR for. We just see her leave the DR, go upstairs, and just start hysterically crying, like absolutely losing it. I think everyone but Daniel leaves the room. Now, one of the things that we know about Nicole is that her mom is very sick.
Yeah.
So it is
Mhm.
assumed when Nicole gets called into the DR and comes out and she's in hysterics that she may have received news that,
About her mother.
right.
Yeah.
So everyone is now downstairs, like talking to each other, being like, hey, this just happened with Nicole. Like, I have no confirmation, but I feel like it might be something that has to do with her mom. I don't really know what's going on. So everyone's kind of like downstairs, like stressed out, like, oh no, I don't know what to do. Like, how do we like support her in this? So Daniel and Nicole are upstairs, and it turns out that the thing that she is upset about is that based on what the DR was asking her, she now feels as though she is gonna be perceived as a bad person. And she doesn't like that because she doesn't want to be seen as the villain. Like, that's not fair. I'm not the bad guy. I'm the good guy. And Nicole and Daniel are going off. And Daniel's like, if they can't see based on everything that's happened that we're the good guys and Taylor's the one that's the bad guy, this is ridiculous. Taylor's obviously the bad guy. We're not the bad guys. Simultaneously, as this is happening, Taylor sits down with Monty and she goes, hey, listen, I'm not a very religious person. Would you help me pray for Nicole right now and for her mother? Because like, I obviously like wish the best. I don't want anything bad to happen. Like, please, if you could like help me and sit with me so we could just pray for her right now. Like, I'd really appreciate that. While they are upstairs talking about what a terrible person she is. And Nicole's sitting there being like, they probably think this has something to do with my mom downstairs. It's nothing to do with that. And letting them all believe that like something terrible happened to her mother outside of the house. And Taylor is literally praying for her.
Yeah.
Yikes.
They were calling
so gross.
Daniel and Nicole, they were calling Taylor a bitch and like just saying like really bad things about her, like
vile things about her.
Yeah.
See, I did actually read some of this, but I didn't. I guess I forgot it because then so many other things had happened.
Well, this kind of led into the big blowout that I'm sure you've heard about too.
I just heard there was a big fight. I don't know what it was.
So basically, when this was all said, I don't know if it was clarified that it wasn't about her mom yet at this point, but Taylor, regardless, even when it was cleared up, like Nicole made it this whole thing of like, I don't know, every time I get called into the DR, I get worried that it's going to be something that has to do with my mom. So like, even though she came clean that that's not what it was about, still kind of like used it as like a way to be like, feel sorry for me because I'm upset about this thing.
Yeah.
And Taylor approached her and was like, hey, listen, like, we're all here for you. We want to support you. That is something that's like really hard to go through. Just know, like, if at any point you need to like take a moment, don't feel any shame in that. Like, this game is really important and this money is important, but like your mental health is the thing that's really important. So if you need to like step away for any reason, like, don't feel like you need to be pressured to do anything with that. And Nicole took that as, Taylor's trying to convince me to leave the game. Oh my God, Taylor's a terrible person. She's trying to tell me to go home. She's trying to convince me to leave, which the feeds got cut because this happened, I think, right before the veto competition. So we don't know what the fight was other than people's retellings, but what we can kind of gather is that it was something to the effect of Nicole was angry because Taylor was trying to push her out of the game. And then Daniel got angry because basically, how dare you speak of mental health when you are the reason why Paloma's mental health got to the point that it got to, and she had to exit the game. And he blamed Taylor for Paloma's mental health issues, got in her face. It became a whole big blow up. We did not see it. I hope that they include it in what happened on Wednesday in the spirit of trying to give us an honest edit of what's happening in the house. Mm-hmm. But we only really know retelling. So I only know what we can piece together and just assume the conversation was.
I think you can almost bet we're not going to see that on Wednesday.
I know we're probably not, but I'm really hoping that we do because it's such garbage that we're getting such an altered version of what's going on.
Right.
I think I saw something else from the feeds too, where I think it was Kyle and Turner maybe were talking about this whole incident where Taylor was just kind of like trying to be very nice to Nicole and being supportive, and even Kyle and Turner, I think it was Turner that it was definitely Kyle. I'm pretty sure it was Turner that he was talking to. But they even were saying like, oh, if Amira or Alyssa said the exact same thing to Nicole in that moment, everything would have been fine.
There's no
because
issue.
Because it was Taylor, it turns into this whole big thing. She's trying to get me out of the game. She wants me to leave and blah, blah. It's like, oh
Meanwhile,
my God.
Taylor's just being like, if you need to take time for yourself and for your family, don't feel shame about that. Like, and trying to support her.
Yeah. And it was interesting to me to see other people in the house, like Kyle, like admitting, like seeing through it, being like, what Taylor said wasn't even bad. Like if Amir or Alyssa said the same thing, it would have been fine.
And
like,
this is all a big piece about them kind of coming to her aid, because there was a piece where I believe it was Kyle was talking to Taylor being like, I miss the Taylor that we saw when we first entered this house, and she was so strong and she was so game ready and she was ready to make moves and do her thing. And now all of these people have been tearing you down and coming for you when all you've done is be a nice person, and people are like shitting on you left and right, and it's not fair and it's not cool.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether Kyle is doing this for game or for personal reasons or whatever, I'm just happy that people are finally starting to come around to the fact of what's happening here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it isn't fair.
No. There's
hope. There's hope for the season.
There is hope for the. Oh yes, so that is what now brought us then to that conversation now in the HOH room when all the men were now coming now and saying like, this is what's been going on, this is everything that's happening, blah blah blah, and that's when this new alliance was formed. Okay, yes. So it looks like Post Pack is canceled, shut down,
canceled.
Much too.
That's why it was so funny watching this episode tonight, because there was so much.
Because nothing about this episode matters.
Yeah, the whole bestie twist was like centered around how this turned out. A Pose Pack person was not aligned with any other Pose Pack person, and it was like this huge thing, and now it's just canceled. It's all just canceled.
But that does also make the Festy Bestie thing more interesting now, because it was because it was designed to serve one alliance, and now that alliance is canceled, and now we have the leftovers.
The leftovers, A+ name, I love it. But also like every season of Big Brother, this is exactly what we hope for. We always get the majority alliance and the quote unquote outcasts that are on an island and easy to throw out and whatever. We have always been waiting for those outcasts to say, you know what?
Enough.
We're going to counterbalance this. We're going to make our own alliance and we're going to target them. And because they are also picking from people in the majority alliance, they have the numbers.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
This is amazing.
The leftovers.
It's
let's
so
run
good.
down who's in the leftovers. We have Turner,
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, Kyle, Monty, Taylor. Wait, who else? Oh, Michael and Brittany.
Yes.
Right.
Again, as I tweeted, some people I could do without. However, if this protects Taylor, it's the best alliance I've ever seen.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. It's all for Taylor.
Hi, hello,
Hi.
Tom.
How's it going?
How's it hanging? So that makes now this veto win so very interesting.
Yeah.
So, we had said to our casual friends that Michael was in it to win it, looking to get his third win, and baby, he did it. Michael takes home his third veto. I can't wait to actually watch it happen.
3 of 3. He has won all the vetoes.
Yes,
every single
veto
one
goes to him.
I am baffled that more people are not talking about that in the house, but I am so happy they're not.
Yeah, good.
Has anyone ever won just like the first 3 vetoes straight like this?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think the first 3. I think there's people.
Right?
There are people who have won 3 consecutively.
Right, but not
right
out
of
the gate. 1, 2, 3.
I don't think so. Especially because there are so many chips to choose from. The odds that the same person is going to play in all 3 vetoes is not.
That's also a thing. I will tell you, Slim tweeted about this regarding winners here. Oh, that's actually we are wrong. We are wrong, and thank you, Slim. I love that it was readily available.
Slim, thank you.
Someone else has won the first 3.
Yes, Shane from BB14.
Okay,
won 3 in a row, weeks 1, 2, and 3. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So it's only happened twice.
Thank you for this. Thank you for this.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the second time, but we have had some other 3 in a rows.
Okay.
Thank you,
Oh,
Slim.
I
Thank you,
love it.
Slim.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this is delicious. This is delicious.
Which that was a whole other stupid issue, was the veto, because who was it? I think it was Amira and somebody else were complaining about the chip draw and like, oh, they must have had like, because like, because with this specific veto, normally like it's hard to stack the veto chip box because you're constantly picking names. If you pick the same person's name twice, bad. But because this is a duos twist and you only needed to pick 2 names, or you only needed to pick 2 people, and whoever you picked, their buddy was automatically in. You only had to pick 1 chip. So it was like, oh, obviously Taylor, you know, they stacked the box for Taylor so that Taylor was going to win the veto, blah, 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 blah. And it was like this whole big stupid thing. It's like, can everyone just shut up about Taylor for 5 minutes? Yeah, really. Please.
Right.
So
there was more discourse about the veto, but let's talk about it before we get into it.
That
I guess we already said
theory was insane.
Stupid.
Insane.
Well, I guess we did already say that Michael won it. So there was.
Yeah, we did.
Nicole's whole plan was to throw the veto because then they would lose and be able to go up as the replacement nominee so we can get rid of Taylor.
What an idiot.
Such a jerk.
Nicole then, after the veto competition, complained about how poorly Taylor performed in the veto competition. Why are you upset if Taylor performed badly in the competition you wanted you both to throw? Why is that a problem? That's exactly what you wanted. How are you mad about it?
It's just hate Taylor at every opportunity.
Anything she does, we just have to say it's wrong.
Even if it worked out exactly in her favor of what she wanted to happen, and she was still mad because it was Taylor. Like, shut up.
I also just do not understand, like, the mentality behind Nicole's thought process here. Like, you want so bad to be the replacement nominee because you think that's what's going to get Taylor out. You literally just saw Pooch do the same thing.
Yes.
And in a completely unanimous vote was sent out. Like,
right.
12 to nothing.
Because
I don't care how much of a target. Yes, I don't care how much of a target you think she is. Like, if
it's
that
not
happens,
even just that. In her mind, she's so much smarter than everybody else that there is no way that would happen to her. She's too good. It wouldn't happen to her.
Based on what?
I don't know. And I think you were the one who tweeted that she kept talking about, like, she's such a strong competitor, such a strong woman in this game. Based on what? What have you done? What have you accomplished?
The strongest females here. Based on what?
What have you accomplished in this game so far?
The first eviction was not real. It had nothing to do with strategy or social anything. Yeah. Had nothing to do with anything. And this one, somebody was blindsided. You were just on the correct side of the vote.
And Nicole has not won a single competition.
To put yourself in the same position as him.
And Nicole has not won a single competition to have any agency in this game or to be able to control anything, make any power move, nothing like that.
It hasn't come anywhere close either.
Why do you think you're so powerful?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because you're buddy with the first HOH? Like,
yeah.
So what?
Flopping ever since.
No one likes him.
Yeah, 3%.
They're the worst,
man.
3% of people polled like your best friend. Okay, so that's not a very strong female in my mind. You've aligned yourself with somebody that people don't like. That's not a strong game player to me.
Oh, jeez, they're the worst. You know what? There is a part of me that like almost wants them though to be put up, and then Nicole gets voted out. But I also just
only if we can she would.
I would love to see it, but I'm much more excited about what the actual plan is.
I know. You're right. I'm just so I'm so annoyed with Nicole. I'm so over it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the new plan.
The replacement nominees are actually going to be Miss Amira and who is Amira's buddy? I don't remember. Amira and Terrence, and Amira is going to get blindsided and voted out.
Yeah,
I am very excited about this. Because Amira.
Oh, I love it.
What percentage does Amira have?
Let's see. Amira is 16%.
Right.
I think she saw some losses. Let me review.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mira
Like,
went from 30 to 16%, not rating high with our friends.
I almost wouldn't have been surprised if Amira was a little lower than that because she's been
Just
pretty
Yeah.
brutal too.
She's been rough.
She's been,
she has.
She has not been very nice.
She also weirdly like feels entitled to know everything that everyone is doing all the time. And I don't know if it's just with Taylor or if it's like in general, but like anytime that like if Joseph is talking to Taylor, she's like, what was that about? What were you talking about? Please tell me everything you're talking about. And like just needs to know like every detail of every conversation that everyone's having with Taylor.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why she feels so entitled to any of that information. Like, I don't know where in her mind her standing in the game is, that she believes that like anyone talking to anybody other than who she decides they should be talking to is a betrayal. And like, I don't get it.
Well, because she thinks she's the other strongest female in the house. Isn't that who was talking to her with Nicole? Isn't that who that pair was? Was that Nicole and Amira making that ridiculous case?
I don't remember.
Amira just thinks very highly of herself. Again,
she really does.
I don't know what that's based on. You know, simply because you held on to a lighter and sat down the fastest, almost the fastest. Like,
and that's knowing that now is what makes this so much more satisfying. She was that close. She was that close to winning the HOH, and now she is the blind side. Like, that makes it so much nicer. I did not know. I did not know she was that close to winning until we watched this episode, and I was like, wait a minute.
I just can't wait to see her face. Just even when they're nominated, never mind the blindside moment. Like,
my one guaranteed day off a week is Monday because there are no performances on Mondays. I've never been happier about that, knowing that I'm going to be able to watch feeds right after the veto ceremony because I am so excited. I feel like 11 or 12 our time.
Oh,
it depends. Or maybe, is it 11 or 12 their time? I feel like I'm never around to watch the veto ceremony live. So like I always just like rely on BB Twitter for those moments. I can't remember if it's like 11 their time or 11 our time.
Oh, I can't wait.
But I'm excited.
Like at least have it on the background. So I'm working from home.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be real nice.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I really am excited.
The fireworks are gonna be so delicious. Yeah. People are going to be so mad. Daniel and Nicole are going to lose their damn minds.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Who are you more excited to see upset?
I don't know.
It's all going to be so good.
Pretty good.
Oh, God.
What were you going to say before?
I feel like my dream path here now would be for Amira to go and then like Daniel and then Nicole. You know what I mean?
Well, but that is the plan of the leftovers is for those three to be the remaining pre-jurors.
I would prefer if we could, get Nicole out when she wasn't tied to Taylor. Like, but I just can't. I guess if you get rid of Daniel, it really takes away some of her power also.
Absolutely. So if it goes in that order, I think that's the best shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think their plan is to get Daniel next. I think that's what they want.
Okay.
I'd love it. I would love it.
Oh, I want it so bad.
Yeah, because he's another one who he just thinks he is just too hot to trot.
And what I want even more, I know this is very wishful thinking, I want it to be on Taylor's HOH. I want Taylor to be the one to send him out more than anything.
That would be so delicious. Oh my goodness.
I need it.
Imagine. Oh, that would be amazing.
I need it.
I mean, who would be sweeter? The only thing sweeter would be if Taylor got out Jasmine.
Yeah.
Get Taylor to get out everybody. Taylor's just the forever HOH. She evicts them all. That's fine. I want that.
I would love it. So good. But there's hope for this season now, I have to say. I'm encouraged.
As yesterday was happening, I was like, wait a minute. I was very ready to cancel BB24, but I am on board for what's happening right now.
Yeah, me too.
This is exactly what I look for in a season.
Yeah. This could start to get good.
And it's so funny because I can't remember who it was that said it. I was like either reading an update or listening to someone talking about it, but they were like, whenever in a season do we hope for the alpha male athletic type to evict all of the women. When does that happen? But that is exactly what we're rooting for right now. We're like, yeah, get them.
Yeah, only because these women are so terrible. You know, these are not the women that we want to rally behind. There's not a single one other than Taylor and Brittany that I really want to cheer for. I can't stand any of the rest of them. Yeah, there's just nothing. Although I'm starting to I'm ever so slightly, don't cancel me. I'm ever so slightly becoming endeared to Alyssa.
Oh, that's been a big thing too. Oh, this
yeah,
poor
that
girl.
has been a big thing.
Has it?
Yeah, she is
her guy
so. Well, that,
no.
and then also just like the Kyle stuff. There was a moment last night, or a couple of moments last night, where Kyle wanted to get rid of her so bad, and she just wouldn't go away, to the point where, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 times it happened. He was like, all right, it's about, like, you know what? Let's play a game. Let's play hide and seek. And she was like, okay. And he's like, all right, go hide and I'll go find you. And she went, okay. And she left and he never looked for her. He just let her go. It happened like 3 times. I was like, Alyssa. And then she would come back. But then she would come back in and he would be like, I got you. Oh, no, let's do it again. I'll come find you this time. I'll come find you this time. And she went, okay. And she left. And he was like, yeah, so anyway, like.
That's really great. And
which is why I was laughing so hard watching production trying so hard to finagle this showmance edit. And I was like, you're trying so hard to push this showmance, as if he was literally pretending to play hide and seek to get rid of her last night.
So great.
And you know what? It's like, why do you have to push the showmance? Like, you don't think that people would enjoy what's actually happening? Like this guy being like, "Hey, listen, go hide and I'll find you," and then not doing it, and just continuing the dog game. Like,
it's so much more in line with our culture.
I want that so badly to be in the edit on Wednesday. I want it so badly to be in the edit. I usually don't care about showman stuff. I would pay production to put that in the edit.
And maybe this is the lead up to it. Maybe you had to.
I really hope so.
Something just to now have that moment be funnier. Like,
maybe. It was so funny.
Oh my god.
But then all the stuff with the guy at home, it's giving Caitlin Herman from BB20. Like it's
it is, yeah, I know. Yeah, but personality wise, I mean, like she kind of makes me chuckle. Like, I'm not hating her. I also don't hate Indy. I just often forget about her.
Yeah, I just don't really feel either way about her.
Yeah.
She's just kind of there.
She doesn't really bother me though.
Yeah,
I did hear that she had. Yeah, I did hear she made some comment.
The whole soup incident.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I heard she had made some comment about throwing soup at Taylor. Yeah, that whole thing. I don't love that. But if it was out of context, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. I'd have to go looking for that. I don't know anything about that.
We'd have to find it. That's for a review on Thursday. Do we have anything else for the benefit of the community?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything. I can't keep track. My brain is so gooey watching what's happened in the last 24 hours. I can't remember.
You can't keep up with any of it. And it's so weird watching these episodes tonight because I'm just like,
so irrelevant. So irrelevant.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the weird thing too, is that like everything's so thrown off with the schedule.
And it's so funny too, because like when the part of the week that just aired was happening, we were like, Turner won. Great. Why did we wanted so badly to have feeds this week, and now we got this stupid HOH that doesn't matter. And then like a couple of hours ago, we were all like, could you imagine if we didn't have feeds this weekend? Like,
yes.
This is the best week of Big Brother that's ever happened. Like,
yeah, really. Yeah. And I remember being disappointed that the feeds were going to be on. I was like, it's kind of a bummer. It kind of takes some of the steam out of Sunday.
The moment that we found out that Turner won HOH, we were all like, this week's a wash. Who cares? Doesn't matter. And now it's like incredible.
I remember we were all like down, like in the Twitter group chat that we have.
Yeah, I was like, did you just see who won HOH?
Yeah, we're like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Speaking.
Like,
nobody said anything
after that. Who knew that? Who knew that tonight? We have all this to talk about.
It's great. It's really great. So what do we have for the week ahead? Obviously rooting for the leftovers. Wednesday, we're doing the Challenge USA. That's at 10:30. right? 10:30 after the episode.
Yes.
Also not
Yes.
opposed to a pop-up Twitter space after that to talk BB.
Sure.
Up to you guys. Yeah, we'll see how we feel.
Play it by ear.
Yeah, that could be a fun thing because you can do it laying in bed, you know. So there's that. Obviously, Thursday night we're live at 10:30, going over the eviction. Back to our normal schedule. Back to normal. Where hopefully we are seeing Amira leave. Honestly, though, as long as Amira and Terrence go up, I don't give a damn. I mean, Terrence can go. That's fine.
Right.
I would much rather Amira, but like, there's no bad ending in that situation. So either way, Thursday night should be fun as long as they go up.
The only, ironically, the only one that's been like a little wishy-washy and like 50% on and off about this plan is Turner, which is annoying. But like based on what's happened in like the latter half of today, like it really does seem that like they're going up.
Yeah.
Well, that's something really to look forward to tomorrow.
Yes.
So
yes.
I can't wait.
I
can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow after.
I know.
We see what's happening
after
on the feeds after the
everything.
ceremony.
Just after everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really good.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, maybe tomorrow night should be the space.
Ooh.
We didn't have an episode happening anyway because there was nothing more to talk about.
Right.
So maybe. Okay.
Perhaps.
We'll talk offline. We'll see what's going on. What's going on. In the meantime, you can find us on the socials at VB Jury Duty or our flashy website, vbjuryduty.com. Thank you for helping us reach 100 subscribers. Finally.
Yes!
Thanks a lot. Yeah, like, subscribe, share with your friends. We finally made it. Check us out. All of a sudden, we're somebodies. Not really. But thanks for supporting.
People like us.
Yeah, we like you. So come back and see us sometime. So stupid. All right, right here. Thank you.